Good morning everyone. Let us go ahead with some more programs for today's class. So we have a program to read through the mailbox data, and when you find the line that starts with from, you will split the line into words using the split function. We are interested in who sent the message, which is the second word on the from line. So you want to know who has sent the message. So you will find for a line that starts with from, then use the split function on it and find out who has sent it. For example, this is what you have, right? So you need to find out from whom it has come. So you would see when you enter a file name, this is what you need to get. So at and the complete email address, right? So this was our sample file from which we are trying to extract that data as to from whom we have got the message. Okay. So let us go ahead and see the source code, how it has been written for this particular thing, right? So if you look at this file, so we are here right now. You can see first we need to open the file using a file handle. So you have not specified any mode, which means it's by default the read mode. You are initializing one counter which is equal to 0, and then for line, that is every line in file handle, what you are trying to do, words equal to line dot split. So you are splitting them in the list of words. If length of words is less than 3 or words of 0 is not equal to from, continue, and then print words of 1, right? So count equal to count plus 1. So here you are counting the number of lines in the file from as the first word and displaying the count. So what are we basically trying to do here? Let us run this file. So it is the fourth file that we are running. So you see there were 7 lines in the file with from as the first word, right? And these are the mails from whom you have received, right? So this happens to be the output of your program, and this is how you do it. Moving on to the next one, how you are exactly trying to get the output of this program now. The same program you rewrite that prompts the user for a list of numbers and prints out the maximum and minimum numbers in the end when the user enters done. Write a program to store the numbers the user enters and use the max and min functions to compute the maximum and minimum after the loop completes. So in this program, what you're basically trying to do is trying to ask user for the numbers up till he prints the number done, and then using max and min functions find out the maximum and minimum on the list. So that is what you're basically trying to do. So you are first initializing a list. So empty square brackets, while true, number equal to 0.0, you're asking for the input number, right? And then if the user prints done, you got to break it, right? So if the user has not printed done, try. If number equal to float, input error. Since we are accepting integers, if the user enters a float value, you are giving a value error, print invalid input and quit, right? Then my list.append, you're inputting that number, okay, maximum on that list and minimum on that list. So when I run this program, what happens? You can see we are running rectify. So it is asking you for the numbers. I randomly enter some numbers and then I say done. So you see maximum number is 9, minimum number is 3, correct? So just now you saw how we got the maximum number and minimum number. If you run this file again, if in case you want to check how we get the error, right? So what I'm trying to do, it is asking me for a number. So first I'll say 9.0, I give it 8.5, and then I say done. So float of, okay, probably Let us run, give some invalid input. So instead of a number, if I try to give T, right? So this is how it gave you a message, invalid input, okay? And then you exit from the program. If in case we had not handled this, the program would end abruptly. Okay? So that's the importance of try except block when you include it. So this program is working for integers as well as float value. You're creating the list and finding the maximum and minimum on the list, right? So that is how it works. Let us move on. So this is a quite simple program compared to your earlier ones. Let us have a look at the next one. Here, what are we trying to do? Right? So if you look at this, add code to the above program to figure out who has the most messages in the file. After all the data has been read and dictionary has been created, look through the dictionary using a maximum loop and find who has the most messages and print how many messages the person has. Right? So what are they expecting from us? If you look at this, you again have the same file, okay, and you can see it is printing that this particular person has 5 messages. If I take some other file, it says this particular person has 195 messages. This is the output that you are expecting, where you are trying to show the name and how many messages that particular person has received. So for this you are making use of a dictionary. So what are we basically trying to do here? You are creating one dictionary called dictionary address is equal to dict. So this is the function to create the dictionary. Saying maximum equal to 0, maximum address is null. Here we are having a file handle. You need to input the file name. Try except block. You know why we are using this, so that if something goes wrong, it ends with a message. And then for every line in the file, you are doing a words equal to line dot split. You are checking which line starts from, so that you know that that particular person has that many messages. Now, if words of one not in dictionary of addresses, then that is the first entry for that particular person. Otherwise, it is the additional counts. So, for address in dictionary addresses, what are you trying to do? Now, for every address in dictionary addresses, if dictionary address of address is greater than maximum, what is it checking here? Checks if new maximum and then updates the maximum if needed. You can see maximum equal to dictionary address of address. Stores the address of the maximum and then address you are assigning to maximum address, right? So you're finding out who has the maximum number of messages. That is what you're trying to basically print, because you're printing only the person with maximum address and what is the maximum count of the message, right, from the file. So let us use again a file, this mailbox short.txt. Let us run it. So run. This time it is dict 9. Let me enter the file name as mailbox short.txt. So you see, this has the maximum number of messages, which is 2. So this is how you get the output. These sample files, let me remind you, they are available on that particular website of Pi for everyone, right? So the link which was provided in the problem description, / you need to put this file name. For some you have words.txt, for some you have romeo.txt. So these sample files are available, right? You can check them out, right? In one of the problem statement, that link is given. On that link you have to just change the file names, right? So this is how this particular program works. Let us move on to the next one. Here you should record the domain name instead of address, where the message was sent from, instead of who the mail came from, the whole email address. At the end of the program, print out the contents of your dictionary. Now in this case, we need to see from whom we received the mail, right? So you need to enter a file name, and then so this like this you will get that from this person I received so many messages, this person I received so many messages. So this happens to be the email address, right? So how are we doing that? Almost few lines are similar because they are on the same lines. So first creating a dictionary, here it is of domains. You are opening the file, so all these things remain common, right? So now you are again asking for a file name. So in this case again we are using mailbox short.txt. So you open it, exception handling. For every line in the file, you're doing a split. So these things have become common for your 2-3 programs that we have done. And then if length of words, you know that we're looking for starting with from. So you continue. Else, here you're using a variable at position. So in that at position, what are you trying to do? You're trying to find this at, and then you're copying the email address, right? So domain equal to words of 1. This is your variable at position plus 1. So your slicing is used from position 1 till the end. Store characters that are there after the at, right? So this is what you're trying to find out. So this words 1 will be the email address at whatever the remaining characters you get. If domain not in dictionary domain, such as if you don't find this domain already in the dictionary, that is the first entry for that domain, right? Else, it is the additional count. So once this entire thing is repeated, you're printing the dictionary of domains. So let us run this file. So run. That's dict 10 this time. So you could see here we need to provide a file name. If you don't want to provide a file name every time, you can just write it in the program and open it. You need not accept the file name from the user, and if it's confusing, you can directly put it in the name continue is not defined, because you could tell me what the error is here. Continue is a keyword and C is become capital there. We need to put it in small case, right? And then, so what you need to do is run it. Okay, let's run. Now let us see what are we getting. So mailbox short dot. Okay. See the output the way it was expected. What is the email address, how many times, right? So this is the count depending on your input file. For all of these programs that we have been discussing, existence of your input file is mandatory. It depends on what file you are giving as input, the success of the output that you're going to get, right? So these sample files are already available, as I told you, so you can go through them, right? So in, I think it's about 3 videos I have spoken about programs. I have told you how these exercise programs are working, and this is an application point of view only, how you use dictionaries, right? The concept of dictionaries in your program, what all things you can do with it, right? So I hope you go through it carefully. Okay, for my next class I shall start with the next chapter, that is modules. Thank you. Have a nice day.